45 for those of you who don't know Espanol. Brady, all up in the comments section. Louis Riddick, we know everything by this man is calculated. Good to have you here with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Max. What's going on? What's Brady doing here?
He's taking a page out of the LeBron James book.
Hey!
I mean, as Stephen A. would say, he's controlling the narrative. Guys, I used to go, my Bubba, that's Yiddish for grandmother, used to go feed the birds in the park toward the end of her life. And sometimes she would take me when I was a little boy to Washington Square Park and feed the pigeons, you know? And if you want to gather a crowd of pigeons, a good way is to drop some crumbs on the floor, some breadcrumbs. And they all come to feed off your scraps, basically. And that's what Tom Brady is doing. Tom Brady is just exercising power here in a way. He's feeding us, we're the pigeons, and he's feeding us crumbs, and he's watching us gather. All it takes is a cryptic message about 45, and he is in the B block of the #1 show in the time slot on cable, incidentally, today. I mean, that's all it takes is the breadcrumbs, and all the pigeons come and gather, and we are the pigeons, and so are you watching at home. It's kind of a recreational exercise of power for Tom Brady. And it's kind of hilarious to watch when you see it that way. Here we are all crowded around the crumbs. 45, he's going to play to 45. Let's talk about it. Let's bring one of the best experts we have, Louis Riddick, in to discuss it. Here we are feeding.
It's not that Max is wrong about that, but I'd say you're incomplete. He's also covering his backside. Because as you said, we are it. We're the #1 show in cable in our time slot. People watch, people hear what we have to say, what we say resonates, and it is what it is. And I'm quite sure that man heard me and you talk about him, and I'm quite sure he heard me say, look, you know, you stabbing Bill Belichick in the back. Because when Garoppolo was there, we didn't hear such words coming out of your mouth. And then all of a sudden, Garoppolo was gone, and here you are talking to Oprah. Now, mind you, it's not news that he's closer to retirement than he is to when he started. That's obvious when you're age 40 plus. The problem is his willingness to speak on it so nonchalantly, giving the impression or leaving the impression out there. You know, I know my days are numbered. It's probably sooner than later. It could be the next year or two. He didn't say that last part, but that's basically the indication that he gave. And when that's clearly the antithesis to what you said when Garoppolo was there, that's problematic when they had to let go of Garoppolo to appease you, because you clearly heard Garoppolo's footsteps coming up the rear trying to get a job in the NFL as a starting quarterback. Having said all of that, what does he do now? He comes out with this because he wants to remind everybody, yeah, I'm still planning on staying around long, because, again, it's hypocritical for him to say anything else after all the noise he's made about how long he plans on staying around. That is a key, pivotal point that cannot be underscored enough. Tom Brady needs to be about the business, needs to speak about the business of wanting to be around for years to come. If Jimmy Garoppolo, Louis Riddick, is what we think he is, undefeated as a starter in 7 starts as an NFL quarterback, 2 with New England, 5 with the San Francisco 49ers, just having received a 5-year, $137 million and a half contract with over $72 million guaranteed. Because of Jimmy Garoppolo, what the expectations are and what he's expected to mean to the NFL, and what John Lynch and players who play with him have said and raved about him, you cannot be Tom Brady speaking about walking away after you've essentially compelled the New England Patriots to let go of this man. You simply can't do that to the organization if you value the organization. Can't do it.
Look, I'll say this. Let me just kind of pick up right there, Stephen A., from where you left off. I kind of like this new Tom Brady. I kind of like this individual that you're starting to see. I kind of like this kind of peek behind the curtain that you're starting to see. Because, look, although, you know, I've come on this show and I've talked on our own shows on NFL Live, whether it be during the draft, whatever it is, you know I'm all about the team. You know I'm all about the Patriot way. I'm all about the Bill Belichick way. I grew up in that way. So I believe in the selflessness of that kind of philosophy and what it will lead to down the road, which ultimately is championships and greatness and legacy from a team perspective. But we live in a very much so a look at me type of world, okay? Instagram is look at me, Graham. That's what I call it. It's about me, me, me. And Tom has never really been about me, me, me. And I think right now at this point in his career, he needs something to keep him going, to continue to propel him to the kind of heights that he wants to propel himself to. And only he really knows how long he's going to play. Only he really knows when he has had enough. Only he really knows when he can look back at himself and say, hey, you know what? I did everything that people told me I couldn't do. I did everything that all my supporters said eventually that I will do. And, you know, all of us at some point in time, as we start getting a little older, things start becoming a little stale.
Lewis.
They just do. But what I'm saying, though, is this. I don't know if Tom is trolling us. Max, I kind of like the whole breadcrumbs thing. He puts them out there, and we sit there, and we go up there, and we gather up, and we're all sitting here talking about it. I think he is controlling the narrative, and I think he's also lighting the fire underneath himself. I'm going to make this a little bit more challenging for me.
Well,
I'm going to go off the beaten path a little bit and do it my way, and I'm still going to dominate. Because if he doesn't, we'll be talking about it on this show.